I'm Justin Buan. I live here in Providence with my wife Amy and my two daughters who are 11 and 13. And I'm here as a private citizen, and this is my first time testifying at the State House. I'm here because global warming is an urgent crisis. Sorry, I was supposed to say greetings, Madam Chair. Thanks for letting me stand here. So I'm here to say we can't play wait and see anymore. Our atmosphere is like a blanket that's getting thicker and thicker with carbon pollution, and we're breaking temperature records year after year. Everything that the scientists have been predicting for decades is coming true. And we're seeing it here with heat waves and big storms, beach erosion, floods, more Lyme disease, more West Nile virus, jellyfish at our beaches, Portuguese man-o-war, and it's just getting started and accelerating. And when we think about what 7 feet or 9 feet of sea level rise means for what it is to live in Rhode Island and what our kids' experience of Rhode Island and grandkids' experience of Rhode Island will be, it's terrifying. And that's what makes this urgent to me. Of course, our national political leaders are making it worse. The president didn't mention global warming last night. He talked about the new oil pipelines he approved. Congress wants to defund the EPA. And it seems to me like the national Republicans are more interested in their campaign donations from the oil lobby than actually trying to protect and safeguard our kids' future. And so while that's the case, while the federal government is stuck, I really believe the states, especially our blue states, need to step up and lead. As I'm sure you've noticed, people are suddenly paying a lot more attention to politics. That includes me. I never belonged to any local political group before, but I joined Resist Hate Rhode Island after the election. That group now has 7,800 members in the first 3 months. They're passionately paying attention and engaged and desperate for action at the state level to counter what's happening at the federal level. I don't see why global warming should be a partisan issue. It's fundamentally conservative to me to conserve the planet for our kids. And so I'm just here to ask and beg you to not screw around with this issue, but act now. Energized RI bill seems great. Carbon pricing, it's a market mechanism. It's got support on both sides of the aisle by people who aren't in tow to the oil lobby, so please pass it now and let's get this thing going. And if it does die silently in committee, Resist Hate RI and a lot of other people are going to be paying attention and mad.
That's all right. You can say sure. It's more of a comment. You know, when you see the national politics, and there's a trickle-down effect to that. And it's just a short anecdotal story that I said a couple of years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I was on the council in Smithfield, and a former senator who was in my seat for 20-something years, shall remain nameless at the moment, Republican, and he's on the council beside me. I'm a Democrat. And so I see in my agenda, we're going to have an initiative to support global warming. So I read this initiative, what comes into my mind is Al Gore, and Inconvenient Truth. So I said, oh, if anybody's ever seen Al Gore and Inconvenient Truth. So this guy pulls the microphone, he said, Senator, no, he goes, Mr. President, now that you've mentioned Al Gore, and I'm mimicking his voice, you don't know. He said, I've heard it's getting colder. And he slides the microphone back, so now my Irish flashes right again. I'm like, did you say it's getting colder? And so, now he wants to escape. He regrets that he said that. And I blasted him on saying it was colder. But the point I'm trying to make is that here's a guy, well-educated. In fact, he's a professor at a university, well-educated, and he just couldn't resist, Global warming doesn't exist. This stuff's imaginary. You're one of those crazy people that believe global warming exists, So, and this was 10 years ago. This thinking is not only the national level, the president, but this is everywhere. We heard something reflected in earlier, very articulate testimony, didn't we? So, you know, it's your efforts and the local efforts that make the biggest difference. If we're not gonna do what we can local, all politics is local, right?
Yep, and I have seen the polls are changing fast in terms of citizen acceptance and even Republican acceptance of global warming as real. So
You're making hopefully it's the local efforts that are gonna matter the most.
okay, well here we are.